श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So, welcome all the devotees for discussion on Bhagavad Gita. So, we are doing our 13th chapter from Bhagavad Gita. So, we will continue in this chapter. So, a short revision before we begin. So, this chapter is titled as Nature, Enjoyer, and Consciousness. And Baldevidya Bhushan has given this title Prakriti Purusha Vibhaga Yoga. Okay. So, in this, we have been seeing that Arjuna first asked in the first section 6 questions. And what are the 6 questions? Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Kshetra Kshetragyam Eva Cha Etad Veditum Ichchami Jnanam Geyam Cha Keshava. So, these are the 6 questions Arjuna is asking. What are they? First is about Prakriti. What is Prakriti? Second is Purusha. Third is about Kshetra. Fourth is about Kshetragya. Fifth, Jnanam. And sixth is Geyam. So these 6 things he has asked. And then Krishna, in response, he will answer all these 6 questions in this chapter and also build a foundation to the next chapter, 14th chapter. So Krishna speaks, first he speaks about the definition of Kshetra and Kshetragya and what is Jnana, these 3 things. So he says, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Idam Shariram Kaunteya Kshetram iti abhidhiyate etadyo vetti tam prahu Kshetragya iti tadvidaha. So this body is called Kshetra and one who knows this body is called Kshetragya. And next verse he is going to say what is Jnana. Idam Sharir 13.3 क्षेत्रज्ञं चापि मां विद्धि सर्वक्षेत्रेषु भारत क्षेत्र क्षेत्रज्ञयोः ज्ञानं यत्तत् ज्ञानं मतं मम. So Kshetragya is the soul also, as it was told in last verse. And this verse he says that I am also the Kshetragya of all the Kshetras, Sarva Kshetresu Bharata. And Kshetra Kshetragyayoho Jnanam, one who knows the knowledge about Kshetra and Kshetragya, he is actually in knowledge. This is my opinion, Matam Mama. And then Krishna described the fourth shloka onwards, the ittachetram yatcha yadrikcha yadvikari yatascha yat sachayoho yat prabhavascha tat samasena meshrunu. So in summary, he is going to describe what about Kshetra and Kshetragya, these 6 aspects or 6 topics. Okay, so this we have discussed what are these 6 topics, and then he tells first about, if you want to know in detail, then where you can refer. Shri Rishibhir Bahuda Gitam Chandobhir Vividay Prithak Brahma Sutra Padaischeva Hetu Madhuri Vinischitahe. So you can refer to the Rishis, the Vedanta, and everything is explained with logic and reasoning over there. And then he explains about this answer to Yatcha, that what it is made up of. So this Kshetra is made up of these 24 elements we discussed. Mahabhutani, Ahankaro, Buddhiravyaktam, Evacha, Indriyani, Dashekam, Cha, Panchajendriya, Gocharaha. So these are the 24 elements, O Arjuna, by which this body is made up of. And what are its qualities? Ichha dvesh sukham dukkham sanghata chetana dhriti. So these are the different qualities of this kshetra. Why? Because these are the qualities of the mind. Mind is one of the part of the kshetra. So these are also qualities of the kshetra, like that he described. Eta kshetram samasena savikaram udahritam. And I have described in samasa, in summary, what vikara also, the transformations which this kshetra undergoes. Yeah. And then next, Krishna described about the process of knowledge. So 20 processes of knowledge, that qualities one should have before uh, beginning to get the knowledge. So he describes amanitam, adambhitam, ahimsa, shantir, arjavam, acharya upasanam, saucham, stairyam, atma vinigraha, indriyartheshu vairagyam, ahankara evacha, janma mrityu jara vyadhi, dukkha doshanu darshanam, asaktir anabhiswangaha, putradara graha adishu, नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम् इष्ट अनिष्ट उपपत्तिषु मयि चानन्य योगेन भक्तिर् अभ्यभिचारिणि विविक्त देश सेवित्वम् अरतिर्जन संसदि अध्यात्म ज्ञान नित्यत्वं तत्त्वज्ञानार्थ दर्शनम् एतद् ज्ञानमिति प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानं यद् अतो अन्यथा. So these are, O Arjuna, the 20 process of knowledge, among which the most important is Mayi cha ananya yogena bhakti cha bhaktir avyabhicharini. And it with the translation of each word we have seen. And Prabhupada describes elaborately what are the different items which he described here. And then 13th verse onwards, the next section starts. Krishna explains the object of knowledge. What is that to be known by this knowledge? Gayam. Okay. So it was described in verse 13 to 19. And here he describes about the super soul, that which is to be known, which is object of knowledge. Gayam yattat pravakshami yad gyatva amritam ashnute anadi mat param brahma na sat tant na sad uchyate. So he is saying Gayam. I shall now explain the knowable, that is Gayam, knowing which you will taste amritam ashnute, then eternal, anadi, and know that it is anadi matparam brahma, na sad tat na asad uchyate, it is beginningless and subordinate to me. This soul is beginningless as well as subordinate to me. I am beyond it, I am above it. So matparam, this is subordinate to me, and it is then Prabhupada says, and subordinate to me lies beyond the cause and effect of this material world. Okay, it lies beyond the cause and effect of this material world. This soul lies beyond. And then 14th onwards, we saw that it is about Paramatma. 14 to 19. Sarvata pani padam tat sarvata akshishiro mukaham sarvata shruti malloke sarvam avritya tishtati. So everywhere are his hands, legs, eyes, heads, and faces. And he has ears everywhere. In this way, the super soul exists, pervading everything. Okay. So this series we saw of different uh, controversial, what you say, opposites. Yeah, different opposites. So, see, sarvendriya guna bhasam, sarvendriya vivarjitam, asaktam, sarvabhrichaiva, nirgunam guna bhoktricha. How is the person who is abhasam, he is the original source of all the indriyas. At the same time, he is detached, sarvendriya vivarjitam. Asaktam, he is detached from everyone, but at the same time, he is sarvabhrit, he is the maintainer of everyone. He is devoid of all the qualities, nirgunam, all the material qualities. At the same time, he is guna bhoktricha, enjoyer of the master of the qualities, gunas. 16th verse, Bahir antascha bhutanam acharam charam evacha sukshmatvat tad avigyayam durastham cha antike tatcha tat. So is situated inside also, he is situated outside also, Paramatma, of all the bhutanam, all the embodied. And acharam and charam, he is non-moving as well as moving. He is sukshmatvat, he is very subtle. At the same time, avigyayam, unknowable. He is far situated, durastham, as well as cha antike, he is situated near. अविभक्तं च भूतेषु विभक्तम इव च स्थितं भूत भक्ति च तद्गेयं कृष्णु प्रभु विष्णु च. And at the same time he is undivided and he is also divided because he is situated in every body. Bhut Bhartri, and he is also the maintainer. At the same time, Grashishnu, destroyer, Prabhu Vishnu, developer of them. This is Super Soul was told. Yeah, continuing Super Soul, Jyotisham api tad Jyoti. He is the source of light of all the luminous objects. Tamasa paramuchyate is beyond the tamasa, ignorance, jnanam geyam jnana gamyam. He is knowledge, he is object of knowledge, and he is the final destination to be attained by the knowledge. Jnana gamyam. Hridi Sarvasya Vishtitam, and he is situated in everybody's heart. Okay, this was discussed. And the last shloka of this section was Iti Chetram Tatha Jnanam Geyam Choktam Samasata Mad Bhakta Evad Vigyaya Mad Bhavaya Upapadyate. So this Chetra, Iti Chetram Tatha Jnanam, and the knowledge, and Geyam, the object of knowledge, I have spoken Samasata in summary. Mad Bhakta Etad Vigyaya, the devotee of mine, it can be even a Jnani because he has element of bhakti, we discussed there. And then also a Keval Bhakta who has only Shuddha Bhakti, Uttama Bhakti, both. Mad Bhava Upapadyate. They will attain my Bhav, my abode. And the second last section was Krishna now explains the last two questions. That is Prakriti and Purusha. What are their definitions and what happens by their union? So this was 20 to 26. Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Vidhi Anadi Ubhavapi Vikaramscha Gunamschaiva Vidhi Prakriti Sambhavan. So this Prakriti and Purusha both know Arjuna that they are Anadi. Okay, Vidhi, no. Vikaramscha Gunamschaiva. Their transformations, both Prakriti and Purusha transformations and the modes. Vidhi Prakriti Sambhavan. Know that they are products of the material nature. Okay. That was 20th verse, yeah. Yes, and then 21st, describing about this Prakriti and Purusha, how they come into place. Karya Karana Kartitve Hetu Prakriti Ruchyate Purusha Sukha Dukkhanam Bhoktitve Hetu Ruchyate. So the nature becomes the cause of Jiva being in this world from time immemorial or beginningless time. Okay. By providing the bodies, the nature becomes the cause. At the same time, Jiva becomes the cause. How? Sukha Dukkhana Bhoktritve, by his enjoying tendency, by his enjoying mentality. Okay. Purushah prakristho hi bhunkte prakriti jan gunan karanam guna sangvasya sadasyadiyoni janmasu. And because of this contact between the material nature and the Purusha, that is the soul, what happens? Karanam gun sangvasya, he has different association with the material gunas, the three gunas. And because of that association, what happens? Sad asad yoni janmasu. He takes birth in good and bad species like demigods or animals, insects like that. So that happens by the association of the material nature and the prakriti and the jiva. And then the Paramatma. The nature of the Paramatma is described. Upadrishta anumanta cha bharta bhokta maheshwara. Maheshwarah Paramatmeti Chapyukto Dehe Asmin Purushah Parah. So the super soul is situated in the body. How? As overseer. He just sees what the living entity is doing, good, bad, or transcendental activities of bhakti. Anumanta. He is the permitter, sanctioner. And Bharta. He is also the maintainer. He is the master, maintainer of the soul. Bhokta, he is the enjoyer. Maheshwara, supreme controller. Paramatma iti chapyukto, that personality is called Paramatma. Where is he situated? Dehe. And how he is situated? Purusha Paraha, as the transcendental enjoyer. That is super soul. Ya evam vetti purusham prakritim cha gunah sah sarvatha vartamanopi nasa bhuyo abhijayate. So now he is saying, attaining this knowledge, what will happen? Nasa bhuyo abhijayate. He will not take birth again. What knowledge? Purusham Prakritim cha Gunaya. So this knowledge about Purusha, Prakriti and Guna, he will, one who knows, he will not take birth again. So same thing now on this basis of this 22nd shloka and this 24th shloka, the next chapter, the 14th chapter is going to be described. Krishna is going to start based on these two verses only. Okay. 22 and this 24. Okay, 25th. ध्यानेनात्मनि पश्यन्ति केचिदात्मनम् आत्मना अन्ये सांख्य योगेन कर्म योगेन चापरे. So what are the different ways one can know Paramatma? Dhyanena, by meditation, or Dhyan Yoga. Atmani Pashyanti Kechid Atmanam Atmana, and others by cultivation of knowledge. Sankhya Yogena Atmani Atmanam. So that Vishwanath Chakra Thakur has also explained that as Ashtanga Yoga. Okay, Sankhya Yogena. And then fourth is Karma Yogena, by Karma Yoga. By these methods, one can know the living entity and the super soul. 26th. अन्ये तु एवम् अजानतः श्रुत्वा अन्येभ्य उपासते तेपि च अतितरन्ति एव मृत्युं श्रुति parayanah. So others, those who are not having these paths being followed in their life, they are not following these paths, then what they can do? Shrutva, by hearing. From whom? Anyebhya upasate. Those who are practicing this path, by hearing from those, they can also atitaranti eva mrityum. They can overcome mrityu, death, birth and death. Shruti parayana, by having inclination to hear. And here we discussed how it is important to hear from realized souls. And Prabhupada told many times in this purport how hearing from pure devotee or a authoritative person is very important to go back home, back to Godhead. Yes. And then last section of this chapter, we discussed last time, the vision of the knowledge. Okay. So 27 to 35. Yavat sanjayate kinchit sattvam sthavar jangamam kshetra kshetragya samyogat tadvidhi bharatarshava. Bharatarshava, O chief of Bharata, know that whatever you see in existence, yavat sanjayate kinchit, Sattvam, Sthavara Jangamam, both moving, non-moving, are Samyoga, are the interaction of what? Kshetra and Kshetragya. So this same shloka will also appear in the next chapter, 14th chapter, the verse number 3, 4, like that. The same thing will come, same concept will come. How the interaction between Kshetra and Kshetragya, that is Kshetra, there it will become Prakriti, and Kshetragya will be soul. So the interaction between soul and the Prakriti actually generates the conditioning or the binding of the living entity in this world. So that will come in the next chapter, which we'll see in some time. Okay. Satad Vidhi Bharatarshava, know this, that it is only interaction of Prakriti and Jiva or Kshetra and Kshetragya. Samam Sarveshu Bhuteshu Tishtantam Parameshwaram Vinashatsu Avinishyantam Yaha Pashyanti Sa Pashyati. So who is the actual seer? Who sees the super soul situated in all the bodies equally. Samaha. Sarveshu Bhuteshu. He is equally situated in everyone. How? As a Parameshwara. That person is actual seer. And what is the result of such knowledge? Samam Pashyanti Sarvatraya. This we did. 30th. Yeah, this I think we have to start today. 30th. Correct. Last time we did till 29, right? Yeah. So for such a person, what is the result? Na hinashyati atmana atmanam. That person will not be destroyed ever. He will never degrade himself in mind. And tato yati param gatim. He approaches the transcendental destination. That is the result of this knowledge of Kshetra, Kshetragya, Jnana, Geyam, Prakriti, Purusha. This we have discussed. Okay. So now we will discuss today from the verse number 30 onwards. Okay, before we start, any questions anybody has on what we discussed till now? Okay, then we will continue. from 30 onwards. 29 we have completed. प्रकृत्यैव च कर्माणि क्रियमाणानि सर्वशः यः पश्यति तथात्मानम् अकर्तारं स पश्यति. Sarveshwari Radhika Mate, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
One who can see that all activities are performed by the body, which is created of material nature, and sees that the self does nothing, actually sees.
Yeah. The
Purport.
Prakriti eva cha karmani. The Prakriti only eva, certainly. Cha karmani, activities. Okay. Kriyamanani sarvashaha. It performs herself the activities. Okay. Like we discussed earlier, that Prakriti is the performing doer. Correct. Prakriti is the performing doer. She herself does. But who has the desired, who is the desiring doer? We saw Bhoktritva. So we saw that Jiva is Bhoktritva Hetu Uchyate. He is the doer by his desire to enjoy. So he is a desiring doer that we discussed. Okay. But the activity who does, who gives the body and all is the Prakriti. Kriyamanani Sarvashaha, of all or in all respects, as Prabhupada has translated. Ya pashanti tathatmanam. And sees that the self does nothing. Who? Akartaram sapashyati. The person who sees that the soul or the self, atmanam, akartaram, is the non-doer. Okay. Yeah, Prabhupada has translated as non-doer. Non-doer does not mean he is not responsible. He is responsible for desiring. Okay. So he is the desiring doer. Why? Because he has the bhoktritva. Okay, he has the desire to enjoy. So he is the desiring doer. But at the same time, he himself is not doing anything hands-on. Like the CEO or the owner of the company may not do himself anything hands-on, but he directs the company like that. So the living entity is not the doer in the sense that he hands-on does not do anything. He doesn't create his own body. He doesn't create the three modes. He doesn't create the material world to enjoy. But he does in the sense that he is desiring to enjoy. Okay. And everything is supplied by the material nature as per his enjoyment. Okay. And in all of this, sanction is given by the Supreme Lord that the living entity here is entitled to enjoy and she should provide the different ingredients of enjoyment. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Please read the purport, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Purport. This body is made by material nature under the direction of the super soul, and whatever activities are going on in respect to one's body are not his doing. Whatever one is supposed to do, either his happiness or for happiness or for distress, one is forced to do because of the bodily constitution. The self, however, is outside all these bodily activities. This body is given according to one's past desires. To fulfill desires, one is given the body, with which he acts accordingly. Practically speaking, the body is
Yeah,
an
this much only. This one. Yeah, we will discuss, then we'll continue. Yeah. So here now, Prabhupada is saying about the body and the living entity's role actually. What is his role? So he's saying the body is made of material nature. So material nature only has provided. Correct. As we discussed, the modes, the ingredients, and the senses, the sense devatas, everything is arranged by material nature. The Jivatma did not create any of these things. Correct. But he created in the sense that he desired to enjoy. So he is the desiring doer and he is a creator in that sense because he desired like that. So this body is made by material nature under the direction of the super soul. So the Prakriti is the performing doer. She performs the activity, but who is the person who is sanctioning is super soul. He is the sanctioning doer. Until unless he sanctions, there won't be any activity done by Prakriti. How much ever the Jivatma can desire, no problem. But the living entity will not be able to enjoy until unless the sanction is given by super soul and the material nature performs that activity of sanction. Okay. So whatever activities are going on in respect to one's body is are not his doing. So even what is happening in our body, like the digestion or even the inhalation of air, so are we doing or it's happening automatically? Even when we sleep, the inhalation is happening, exhalation is happening, digestion is happening, everything is happening. We are not doing it. Okay. But we can use our free will to stop it or do it fast, do it slow. But if we see in essence, then Prakriti is doing it through us. Okay, so these are the things which is explained here. So whatever one is supposed to do, either for happiness or for distress, one is forced to do because of the bodily constitution and because of the modes. Okay, because he is situated in a particular mode of sattva, rajas, or tama, he will be forced to act in that way. Okay, whatever conditionings he has acquired from past lives. Okay, the self, however, is outside all these bodily activities. Yeah. This body is given according to one's past desires. Yeah. Yeah. To fulfill desires, one is given the body with which he acts accordingly. Yes. Yeah. Please continue, Mataji.
Practically speaking, the body is a machine designed by the Supreme Lord to fulfill desires. Because of desires, one is put into difficult circumstances to suffer or to enjoy. This transcendental vision of the living entity, when developed, makes one separate from bodily activities. One who has such a vision is an actual seer.
Yeah. So, where it is mentioned, this practically speaking, the body is a machine designed by the Supreme Lord to fulfill the desires. Where it is mentioned, body is a machine designed by Supreme Lord.
Prabhuji, Prakrityev
Prakriti eva is Prakriti
Karmani.
certainly. No, it is not mentioned in this shloka. So where in Bhagavad Gita it is mentioned.
अच्छा वो या
यन्त्रारूढानि
हाँ यंत्र आरूढ़ मायया
हाँ, यंत्र आरूढ़ानि maya, correct. Yantra rudhani maya, correct. So that body is a machine designed by the Supreme Lord to fulfill desires. Okay. So because of desires, one is put into difficult circumstances or to suffer or enjoy. Where is this mentioned? Yeah, not in this shloka. We read in this chapter. Because of his desires, one is put into difficult circumstances to enjoy or suffer. Where is it mentioned?
कारणं गुणसङ्गस्य सदसद्योनिजन्मसु
Not that. That is not direct. Directly it is mentioned somewhere. We just now revised. Which verse says this? I hope everybody has their copy of Bhagavad Gita. You can turn it and
प्रभुजी
see.
21 कार्य
What?
कार्य कर्तृत्व हेतु
Yeah,
प्रकृति
yeah,
रुचते पुरुषा
correct.
सुख दुःखानां भोक्तृत्व हेतु रुचते.
Yeah. So here it says that sukha dukha nam het bhoktritva. So sukha dukha bhoktritva. Because of the bhoktritva, the enjoying tendency, the jiva has to undergo sukha and dukkha. Okay. Enjoy or suffer because of bhoktritva. Okay. So whatever we have learnt, if you don't pay attention while we are revising, or you don't yourself you don't revise, then it will be lost. That knowledge you will not remember. Like within a week, it is lost. Okay. So even after we complete the sessions, then if you take up Bhagavad Gita and read through the shlokas at least, then you will remember what all we have discussed. Otherwise, you will forget everything. Okay. So this transcendental vision of living entity, when developed, makes one separate from bodily activities. Yeah. One who has such a vision is an actual seer. Yaha pashyati sa pashyati. Okay. So that is mentioned in this verse. Yaha pashyati sa pashyati. Okay. Let's go to the next verse. Yada bhuta prithak bhavam ekastham anupashyati tata eva cha vistaram brahma sampadyate tada. Okay. Isha Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. When a sensible man ceases to see different identities due to different material bodies, and he sees how beings are expanded everywhere, he attains to the Brahman conception.
Yeah, your voice is coming little lower. Maybe when you read ahead,
Oh.
you can keep the earphone little or
Okay,
the
is
mouthpiece.
it clear, Prabhuji, now?
Yeah,
I
better,
don't know.
better. Yeah,
Is it
better.
better?
Yeah, better.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay.
Okay, so
Sorry.
here he is saying that yada bhuta prithak bhavam ekastham anupashyati. So when a sensible man ceases to see different identities due to different material bodies, tata eva cha vistaram brahma sampadyate tada. Then what happens? He sees how beings are expanded everywhere. He attains to Brahman conception. Okay. So the result of knowing whatever was told in this chapter, what was told in this chapter, what is Kshetra, what is Kshetragya, what is Jnana, what is Geyam, what is Prakriti, what is Purusha. These 6 aspects were said. So what will happen to a person who has this knowledge is being described? Like if you see the title here, 27 to 35, vision of the knowledge. Okay. Or what is the result of this knowledge? Okay. Jnana Chakshu, as we discussed last time. Okay. One who has this Jnana knowledge with these eyes, what will he see? What will he attain? That is being described. So a sensible man, who is that man, sensible man? That was described in the past shloka 30. Yaha pasyati sa pashyati. Ceases to see different identities. He doesn't see different identities. He sees everybody having Paramatma situated in them equally. Okay, that was mentioned in the verse number 28. So he says there, Samam Sarveshu Bhuteshu Tishtantam Parameshwaram. So in all the bodies, he sees that Paramatma being situated equally. Okay, whether it be demigod body or the animals or the human beings. Okay. So this he has ceased, he has stopped seeing different identities due to different material bodies. He sees how beings are expanded everywhere. He attains to the Brahman conception. Okay. Yeah. So Brahma sampadyate tada. Then he will attain to the Brahman conception. Yes, Mati, please read the purport.
Prabhuji, just let me know if it is clear. When one can see
it's
what
clear,
the various
Yeah.
that the various bodies of living entities arise due to the different desires of the individual soul and do not actually belong to the soul itself, one actually sees. In the material conception of life, we find someone a demigod, someone a human being, a dog, a cat, etc. This is material vision, not actual vision. This material differentiation is due to material conception of life. After the destruction of the material body, the spirit soul is one.
Yeah. So same thing what we discussed, Prabhupada is also explaining that the various bodies are there, like dog, cat, etc. Okay, but one should not see a differentiation of the soul as well as super soul just because the bodies are different, okay, or even human being or demigod, these examples we saw. So in the material conception of life, these may be externally different, but what is the seer of a actual seer or the actual vision? The material differentiation he does not see, okay. Why? Because that is only a material conception which will change after this life. Whatever conception that is there now, it will change in the next life. But the soul and super soul conceptions, that will not change, that will remain as it is. Okay. Yeah, continue.
The spirit soul, due to contact with material nature, gets different types of bodies. When one can see this, he attains spiritual vision. Thus, being freed from differentiations like man, animal, big, low, etc., one becomes purified in his consciousness and able to develop Krishna consciousness in his spiritual identity. How he then sees things will be explained in the next verse.
Yeah. So here he says the spirit soul, due to contact with material nature, gets different types of bodies. Okay, where is this mentioned? Which verse of this chapter it was mentioned? Due to contact with material nature, he will get different types of bodies.
Karanam Gunasangosya, that one.
21. Karanam Gunasangosya Sadaswadiyoni Janmasu. Yeah, so there we saw. So when a man can see this, he attains spiritual vision. Okay, so that is Brahma vision. Okay, or the vision of knowledge. Okay. Thus, being freed from differentiations which are external like man, animal, etc., one becomes purified in his consciousness and able to develop Krishna consciousness in his spiritual identity. Okay. So the Krishna consciousness begins with self-realization, then that is Atma realization, then God realization. So one has to first understand that he is the soul, not the body. And then he has to see in others also that everybody is soul, not the body. Then seeing everybody is equal in the sense that they are all souls and they are all servants of Krishna. And then God realization comes later. Okay, first self-realization, then God realization. So that Krishna consciousness, it begins with this. How he then sees everything will be explained in the next verse. Okay. So basically this verse we discussed now was the Brahman vision, like that we can say. So what is this Brahman vision? Okay. So that is Brahma Sampadyate Tada. So when he sees like this, which was explained in previous verses also, that vision becomes Brahman vision. Yeah. Okay, let's see the next verse. Anaditvat, Anaditvan Nirgunatvat, Paramatmayam Avyayah, Sharirastho Api Kaunteya, न करोति न लिप्यते. Okay. Gayatri Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
No, Dosh.
Those with the vision of eternity can see that the imperishable soul is transcendental, eternal, and beyond the modes of nature. Despite contact with the material body, O Arjuna, the soul neither does anything nor is entangled.
Yeah. So, those with the vision of eternity, where is this mentioned? What is being said in the previous verses? The Brahman vision, which we discussed now, same thing. Those with this vision, okay, where is it mentioned? Anaditva Nirgunatvat Paramatmayam Avyayah Sharirasthopi Kaunteya na karoti na lipyate. So this personality who is having this vision of eternity, Anaditvat. Okay. So this vat, which is there suffix at the end, it's like because of this or due to this. Yeah. So this is causality. And this suffix is used for the causality, cause of something. Okay. So because of this eternal vision, like that, and nirgunatvat, and because of due to being transcendental. What is transcendental? Atma, the spirit, that is transcendental. Okay. And it is paraha to what? Beyond the material nature or the three gunas or the three modes. So that was told earlier also. Even though it is situated in material world, It is not connected to the material world. It is transcendental to it, but it can get influenced because of the enjoying tendency. So it is aware, it is transcendental, it is untouchable by the material world, but still it is sarira stha. It is situated in the particular body as per his desire and by the body given by material nature. Okay, so even though it is eternal, it is beyond the three gunas, and it is parama. This soul is parama. It is avyaya, indestructible, inexhaustible. It is situated in the body. Even though all this is there, Kaunteya, na karoti na lipyate. Neither the soul does anything nor is entangled. So soul does not do anything in the sense what? It is not actually in touch with the material world, or it does not perform anything. The performing doer is the material nature. She is doing everything. What a living entity doing? Na karoti is true. He does not do anything, but he did one thing is bhoktritva. He had the desire to enjoy. Okay. The desire to enjoy, that he did. From where everything started, and then after that the material nature took over and she did everything what he wanted to enjoy for. Okay. Yeah. Please read the purport.
A living entity appears to be born because of the birth of the material body, but actually the living entity is eternal. He is not born, and in spite of his being situated in a material body, he is transcendental and eternal. Thus, he cannot be destroyed. By nature, he is full of bliss. He does not engage himself in any material activities. Therefore, the activities performed due to his contact with the material bodies do not entangle him.
Yeah. So yeah, whatever was discussed, every phrase in the shloka Prabhupada is explaining. So we'll try to match. A living entity appears to be born. So where is this mentioned that he appears to be born or he is not born? He is not born. Na jayate mrite va kadachit. Okay. So that is explained in the second chapter. And because of the birth of the material body, the body takes birth, but the soul na jayate mriyate. The body is taking birth. So sharirastha api, he is situated in this material body which takes birth. Okay. But actually the living entity is eternal. Okay. Where is this mentioned that he is eternal? In this verse it is mentioned, eternal. Where it is mentioned in this verse, the word eternal.
Anaditva.
Yes, anaditvat. See here, we'll go back to the verse. Anaditvat, due to eternity, it's mentioned here. Correct. Okay, so the soul is eternal. Okay. He is not born. Okay. Na jayate. And in spite of his being situated in a material body. Okay, where is this mentioned? He is situated in a material body.
Sharirastho.
Sarirastho. Okay. He is situated in the material body. He is transcendental and eternal. Again, eternal is anaditva. And then where is mentioned? Transcendental.
Gunatvat param.
Nirgunatvat. Correct. Yeah. So here we see word to word meaning Prabhupada has told. Transcendental nirgunatvat. He is beyond the modes. Thus he cannot be destroyed. Okay. Nam riyate. He cannot be destroyed. By nature he is full of bliss. Okay. Yeah, that is not mentioned here. Okay. He does not engage himself in any mental activities. Yeah, where it is mentioned, he does not engage in any mental activities in this verse. Which phrase is saying he does not engage in mental activities?
Na karoti na lipyate. Na
Ha,
karoti.
na karoti. Correct. Na karoti. So therefore, the activities performed due to his contact with material nature does not entangle him. This one is na lipyate. Correct. Okay. And similar verse also comes other place in Bhagavad Gita. Brahmani adhaya karmani. Yeah. So one who does his activity based on the spiritual principles, Brahmani adhaya karmani. So there it's mentioned that that person also na lipyate. He will be not bound. And an analogy is given, Padma Patra Ivambasah. Just like the lotus leaf has the water drop, it is on the lotus leaf, but it is never attached to it. Okay, Padma Patra Ivambasah, like that. Okay, any question on what we discussed till now? Okay, we will continue. 33rd verse. Yatha sarvagatam saukshmyad akasham nopalipyate sarvatra avasthito dehe tatha atman nopalipyate. Okay. Vrajananda Krishna Prabhu, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. The sky, due to its subtle nature, does not mix with anything, although it is all pervading. Similarly, the soul situated in Brahman vision does not mix with the body, though situated in that body.
Okay. Yatha sarvagatam saukshmyad akasham. Akash, that is sky. Now upalipyate. Upalipyate is not bound or does not mix. Okay. What does not mix? So yatha sarvagatam saukshmyad. Due to the subtle nature saukshmyad. Okay, sukshmata. Sukshma is subtle or very which cannot be distinguished very easily. Sukshma, very small. But here the meaning is subtle. Sokshmyat. So due to being very subtle, nature of being subtle. Okay. Who is having this subtlety? The sky. Okay, Akasham. The Akash having the nature of being subtle and uh, and Sarvagatam, all pervading nature. It is having all pervading nature. What happens due to these two? So one is Sokshmyad, is one quality, and Sarvagatam, this is the second quality. These two qualities are there. So be of whose? Of the Akash. Okay. The Akash has these two qualities. So because of this, what happens? The result is that it is na upalipyate. It is not getting mixed or not getting attached. So this is the analogy given to explain the concept which is being told till now. Okay. So what is the analogy here? Okay, first let us complete this shloka. Sarvatra avasthito dehe. Even though situated in every place in the body, sarvatra, everywhere it is avasthito, it is situated. Tatha atma, in the same way the atma, na upalipyate, does not get lipt or the lipt or mixed or attached kind of thing. Yeah. Does not get mixed. So in this analogy, what is Akash compared to?
Soul. Atma.
Yeah, Akash is the soul. Okay. And Sarvagatam Sokshmyad, that is compared to what? Sarvagatam and Sokshmyad. These are again the qualities of the soul.
The soul.
Yeah, like they are the qualities of Akash, they are qualities of the soul. So Sarvagatam is compared to what? Sarvatra avasthito. Okay. Sarvagatam is Sarvagatam is compared to what? Sarvatra avasthitah. Okay, it is situated everywhere. Okay. And then both of them, what? Now uplipyate, they doesn't get bound. Okay. So the soul, like the sky, doesn't get mixed or bound. Okay, mixed is, we will just use mixed because next chapter one verse will come where it will say the soul is getting bound. Nibadhananti. Okay, so bound can give another meaning, so we will use only mixed. Okay, mixed in the sense that the spirit does not get mixed with the matter. Okay, like that. Yeah, please read purport.
The air enters into water, mud, stool, and whatever else is there. Still, it does not mix with anything.
Keep the microphone little near to your mouth, Roji. The voice is
Is it
not
better now,
very
Prabhuji?
clear. No, same.
Still not good?
Yeah, continue.
Yeah. Similarly, the living entity, even though situated in the varieties of bodies, is aloof from them due to his subtle nature. Therefore, it is impossible to see with the material eyes how the living entity is in contact with this body and how he is out of it after the destruction of the body. No one in science can ascertain this.
Yeah. So same thing, what was told in the shloka that is being explained by Prabhupada. So the air, the sky, akasha, enters into water, mud, stool, and whatever. And same analogy is given by Narad Muni also when he is speaking to Vyasadeva. So just like the air and the sun, they are like purifiers. They will go everywhere. They will not get contaminated, not get mixed, but they will be remaining pure. Okay, even though they are going through all this like that. So Akasha, air, enters into water, mud, stool, and whatever else. Still, it does not get mixed with anything. Na lipyate. Similarly, the living entity, the Jivatma, even though situated in varieties of bodies, is aloof from them due to his subtle nature, Sakshmatvat. Okay. And here the word is Sakshmyad. Okay. Yeah. Due to his subtle nature, Sakshmyad. Therefore, it is impossible to see with the materialized all entities contact. So with materialized, we cannot see this sukshma, or the subtle entity. Just like we cannot see the mind, intelligence, ego, like that. No one in science can ascertain this. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's discuss next shloka. 34. यथा प्रकाशस् यथा प्रकाशयति एकः कृत्स्नं लोकम् इमं रविः क्षेत्रं क्षेत्री तथा कृत्स्नं प्रकाशयति भारत. Okay. Amit bro, you want to read? No, I can hear from your lips that you are asking you are audible or not, but not able to hear you.
No, Prabhuji, or no?
No, it's coming. Yeah, now it's
It
coming.
looks like the headphone is not working.
Yeah.
O son of Bharata, as the sun alone illuminates all this universe, so does the living entity, one within the body, illuminate the entire body by consciousness.
Yeah, thank you. So yatha prakashyati yatha prakashyati ekah kritsnam lokam imam ravihi, just like one ravihi, one sun, what it does alone illuminates, ekah alone illuminates, prakashyati, okay, it alone illuminates. What? Kritsnam lokam, the whole material universe. Okay, the whole material universe. Okay. Kshetram, Kshetri, Tatha Kritsnam, prakashyati bharatah. In the same way, the kshetra, the body, is prakashyati, is illumined. How? Krishnam, completely illumined, wholly illuminated. How? By the kshetri, the presence of the soul. Okay. So the soul, like the sun, lights the whole body. Okay. So again, in this analogy, soul is compared to what? Soul is
Sun.
compared to the
Sun.
sun. Okay. And the similarity is the prakashyati, the ability to illumine or the lighten the body. That is the similarity. Okay. Let's see the purport. Yes, please read.
There are various theories regarding consciousness. Here in Bhagavad Gita, the example of the sun and the sunshine is given. As the sun is situated in one place but is illuminating the whole universe, so a small particle of spirit soul, although situated in the heart of this body, is illuminating the whole body by consciousness. Thus, consciousness is the proof of the presence of the soul, as sunshine or light is the proof of the presence of the sun. When the soul is present in the body, there is consciousness all over the body. And as soon as the soul has passed from the body, there is no more consciousness.
Yeah, so what we discussed, almost the similar thing. Just like the Ravi, he is situated in one place, Sarvaloka Prakashyante, whole universe, it is illuminating, Sarvaloka Prakashyante. Similarly, the Jiva or the soul, okay, Kshetri, he is present in the heart of the Kshetra body, Prakashyate, all the whole body is pervading by consciousness. And how we can test that the consciousness is throughout the body? Any part of the body, if there is any pinch or any prick of the needle or anything, we can immediately understand that something is happening in the body. So that way the consciousness is pervading throughout the body, just like the sunlight is pervading throughout the universe. That is what is given. Yeah, continue.
This can be easily understood by any intelligent man. Therefore, consciousness is not a product of the combinations of matter. It is the symptom of the living entity. The consciousness of the living entity, although qualitatively one with the supreme consciousness, is not supreme because the consciousness of one particular body does not share that with another body, of that another body. But the super soul, which is situated in all bodies as the friend of the individual soul, is conscious of all bodies. That is the difference between supreme consciousness and individual consciousness.
Yeah. So this we have seen earlier that surely consciousness is not a product of matter. Okay. That site cannot be created in laboratory by using any combination of chemicals. And it is the symptom of the living entity. The consciousness, as the living entity goes out, the consciousness also is absent in the body. Okay. So when the person is dead, the body cannot experience anything, thinking, feeling, willing, or discrimination. All these activities are zero. The consciousness of the living entity, although qualitatively one with the supreme, the quality is one, but it is not supreme because it is of one particular body. So the 13.3, as we discussed in this chapter also. So Kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetresu bharatah. Krishna is saying that I am the knower of all the bodies, but the living entity is knower of only his body, that also limited way, like that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, continue.
Using an example, the Lord shows how the Paramatma, being the source of illumination, is not connected with the qualities of what he illuminates. Just as the sun, the illuminator, is not connected to the qualities of what he illuminates, the Paramatma, Kshetri, illuminates everything and is not affected. Thus, Shruti says, Suryo.
Just read the
Okay,
translation.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just as the sun is the eye of all people, but is not contaminated by the material faults of the eyes, so the Paramatma within all beings is not contaminated by lamentation, lamentation and suffering of the material world.
Yeah. So here Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying that just the Lord is using an example to show how the Paramatma. So this verse he has also implied as a meaning given to the Paramatma, because Paramatma also is a source of illumination in the body, is not connected with the qualities what he illuminates. Okay. So Baldev Vidyabhushan and Srila Prabhupada have both said that this shloka is the saying about the soul, the Jivatma. And Vishwanath Thakur, at the same time, he is explaining that it is saying about Paramatma. So both are right at their place, as we discussed earlier. So those 10, the essential principles are there, same. Okay. But the interpretation may be sometimes different. So all these qualities which he mentioned in this verse can also be applied to the Paramatma. Okay. And even if we see previous qualities like Anadi, that it is beginningless, it is na lipyate, it's not attached or not mixed with the material modes or the body, all can be applied to Paramatma. Okay, so that's how it is there. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next verse. I think this is the last verse of this is Falashruti. Kshetra kshetragyo evam antaram jnana chakshusha bhuta prakriti moksham cha ye vidur yanti te param. So, okay, let's read the translation. Somebody else can read. Yeah, Pratik, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Translation. Those who see with eyes of knowledge the difference between the body and the knower of the body, and can also understand the process of liberation from bondage in material nature, attain the supreme goal.
Yeah. So, ye viduh yanti te param. So, those who know this, they will attain the transcendental position or the supreme goal. Who? What they know? Kshetra kshetra gayo evam. The knowledge about the kshetra and the kshetragya. So, the knowledge about kshetra is the body, and kshetragya, who are the kshetragya? The soul and super soul, both. Kshetra is body. Antaram jnana chakshusha. Okay, the difference between them. अंतर दोनों में क्या अंतर है? क्षेत्र and क्षेत्रज्ञ, that is अंतरम ज्ञान चक्षुषा. Okay, by the vision of knowledge. So we have discussed this whole thing is vision of knowledge 27 to 35. What are the vision of knowledge? To see that soul and the super soul are equally situated in all the bodies. That is the vision of the knowledge. Okay, bhuta prakriti moksham cha. So that person will get liberation, moksham. From what? Bondage in the material nature. Okay. That living entity, that bhuta, atma, will get liberation from prakriti, moksham. Okay. Okay. So one who knows viduhu, what they know? Kshetra, kshetragyo, antaram. The difference between kshetra and kshetragya. By the vision of knowledge, jnana chakshusha, bhuta prakriti moksham. So they will gain moksha, yanti te param, and attain the supreme. Like that. Yeah, please read the purport.
The purport of this 13th chapter is that one should know the distinction between the body, the owner of the body, and the supersoul. One should recognize the process of liberation as described in verses 8 through 12. Then one can go to the supreme destination. A faithful person should at first have some good association to hear of God and thus gradually become enlightened. If one accepts the spiritual master, one can learn to distinguish between matter and spirit, and that becomes the stepping stone for further spiritual realization.
Yeah.
A spiritual master, by various instructions, teaches his student to get free from material concept of life. For instance, in Bhagavad Gita, we find Krishna instructing Arjun to free him from materialistic considerations. One can understand that this body is matter. It can be analyzed with its 24 elements. The body is the gross manifestation, and the subtle manifestation is the mind and psychological effects. And the symptom of life are the interaction of these features. But over and above this, there is the soul, and there is also the supersoul. The soul and the supersoul are two. This material world is working by the conjunction of soul and the 24 material elements. One who can see the constitution of the whole material manifestation as this combination of the soul and material elements, and can also see the situation of the Supreme Soul, becomes eligible to transfer to spiritual world. These things are meant for contemplation and for realization, and one should have a complete understanding of this chapter with the help of spiritual master.
Yeah. So yeah, the Prabhupada has summarized actually the whole chapter from the first Kshetra Gyoho. Then he told about the process of knowledge. Okay. That is described in 8 to 12. Okay. And then the next section about 13.13 about soul. Then 14 to 19 about super soul. And then all this should be studied under the guidance of a spiritual master, Siksha Guru or Diksha Guru, by various instructions. And by that, one can get free from the material concept of life. Yeah, and then 24 elements, which was discussed in Shloka 6, 7. Correct. Soul and super soul we discussed in 13 to 19. Yeah, constitution of the whole material manifestation of the combination of soul and the material elements. Yeah, so this again same thing, the 6 and 7. So these things are meant for contemplation and for realization, whatever we discussed in this chapter. So as we discussed in the beginning of this chapter, this is not only for Gyanis, that they have to know about soul, super soul, the modes of nature, whatever sections are going to come or we have studied. Bhakti Yogi does not meditate on this, but he will have to have this knowledge. Okay. And Prabhupada is saying here contemplation because we should not forget this knowledge. So again and again we should revisit the shlokas. Okay. So as we revisit, then we will understand that this is each shloka what was spoken in the purport, we will remember. Okay. Yeah. So one should have a complete understanding of this chapter with the help of the spiritual master. So as Prabhupada has given in the purport, we have tried to understand through him. Yeah. Okay. Any questions on what we discussed till now in this chapter? Yeah, Pratik bro.
So Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, Prabhupada is saying that it is for contemplation and realization, but we know that we have to see it in a bhakti perspective. But because I'm not sure about, I mean, speaking for myself, because generally comes from science or that technical background, I personally feel like this kind of knowledge fascinates more, like how creation takes place, how these elements are. So how much we should contemplate, and at what limit we should refrain ourselves, like okay, that much is sufficient, we shouldn't go further.
No, nothing like that of measurement and all. Like as we are studying now in the sequence, so we are studying now. So there are other topics which we have to, like, there is a systematic study. We study the small books, then Bhagavad Gita, Krishna book, and then Srimad Bhagavatam, then Chaitanya Charitamrita. So as we go ahead, we go ahead. So we will see that those topics which are mentioned here, they will be lesser and lesser actually in the whole content of Bhagavatam or Chaitanya Charitamrita. These concepts will be there again and again. Okay, but it will be lesser and lesser compared to the quantity of the main contemplation of the devotees, like the form of Shyam Sundar or the different services or the attitudes of devotional service. Those will be explained more and more. So there is nothing which we have to do artificially. It will automatically be taken care as we systematically study.
Okay, Prabhuji, as we are, I mean, may not be very advanced, so because sometimes this kind of topic fascinate more than
Yeah.
is it okay, Prabhuji? I mean, for now, if
Yeah, that's
okay.
what. As we are studying this, so we should give all our attention and intelligence in understanding this by various angles, what other acharyas explained. So I have not taken all the commentaries of all the acharyas because it's a little technical section, and some places the opinions are also different. So if somebody is interested, so they can go more deeper into this. Okay. So, and generally I send the PDF, then all the commentaries are there, so you can go through them. If there are any doubts, we can always discuss.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else has any comment or any question? Okay. Then we will continue with the next chapter. 14th chapter. Yeah, so before we start that, we will read a quote. As we have been doing that PPT, mood and method of study, Shastra. So we have been discussing one quote each time. So we will read one quote and then we will go ahead. Okay. Yeah, so this is Prabhupada speaking on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Yeah, maybe somebody can read. Yes, Pratik, you want to read?
Sure, Prabhuji. Speaking on Shruti Pramana.
Yeah, just a minute. Yeah, previous things we have done here, 2-3 quotes were there from the topic art of authoritative quoting. That Prabhupada is how he is saying that the mood and method of study, how it should be, and it should be based on what. So we have been discussing this, and this is 4th quote. Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada, books means solid ground. What we want to preach, it is recorded, not any concocted ideas. There is direction by Rupa Goswami, Shruti Smriti Puranadi, devotional service of the Lord that ignores the authoritative Vedic literatures like the Upanishads, Puranas, and Narada Pancharatra is simply an unnecessary disturbance in the society.
Yeah, so as the focus should be always Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. That was the initial discussion we had. So just to keep it alive, we are discussing. So here Prabhupada is saying that books means solid ground. And Prabhupada also famously said books are the basis. Correct. So he is again making the similar point. Books means solid ground, or we can say foundation, a good foundation. Okay. If there is a good foundation, then there can be good building. If the foundation is not good, how much ever beautiful the building may look, it falls. Okay. So foundation is very, very important. So what we want to preach, it is recorded. Means it should be based on the solid ground of books, not any concocted ideas. I think like this. I hope it was like this. Or that Prabhu said like this Mataji said like that, this Babaji said like that. Not all those sort of things. And Prabhupada is giving his lecture here on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, but he is himself following the rule by quoting the scripture. So he is quoting Rupa Goswami, who Rupa Goswami has quoted this from another scripture in his book actually. So basically, everybody is following the rule of following some Shastra. Okay, Rupa Goswami has quoted it from Shastra. Prabhupada is quoting from Rupa Goswami, and he is speaking on the same principle that everything what we say should be based on Shastra. So he is saying Shruti Smriti Purana ji Pantriyatrikim Vidhim Vina. So this process which takes place without recognition of Shruti, Smriti or Purana, Pancharatra, these four literatures are told. So here Prabhupada will say also, service based on service of the Lord that ignores what? Authorized Vedic literature. What are those authorized Vedic literatures? Like Upanishads, Puran, Narada Pancharatra, like that. So this is Upanishads are Shruti. Puran is the Smriti. This is Pancharatra. Vidhim Vina. Okay, one that which is without the vidhi of these prescribed scriptures. Utpata eva kalpate. It will create only a disturbance in the society, and that disturbance will be unnecessary. Okay. And as Prabhupada has told previously also, we saw that here he said, right? So it has no meaning. That personal point of view, that will be useless. It will not make us advance in spiritual life. Like that. Okay. Okay. So now we'll continue with the next 14th chapter. So this is a new chapter where are you able to see the 14th chapter? Okay, yeah. So here he is saying the three modes of material nature, that is the title given by Srila Prabhupada. And Baldev Vidya Bhushan has given us Guna Traya Vibhaga Yoga. The division, Vibhaga, of what? Guna, the modes. In how many number? In 3. Okay. Okay, the division of the modes, which are 3 in number. Okay, that yoga will be described in this chapter. Okay, the 3 modes of mental nature will be described in this chapter. Why these are being described? Because if you remember 13.21 or 22, where did it come?
22.
22, 24.
Yes, 22. Yes, correct. 22 and 13.24, right? Yeah, there also these all verses, the 3 modes, the guna, they were explained. So now Krishna is going to say that among all the 6 questions which you asked Arjuna, what 6 questions he asked? That is Kshetra, Kshetragya, Purusha, Prakriti, and Jnana and Geyam. These 6 questions you asked Arjuna. Among all of them, the most important thing which was there was what? The interaction of Prakriti and Purusha. Okay. So that is what I am going to explain in this chapter, because that is the most important knowledge. Okay, that is what I am going to explain in this chapter. Okay, this is the most important knowledge among all the knowledge I spoke in the last chapter. Oh Arjuna, this is most important, the knowledge about the 3 modes. So hence I will speak to you. And what is this knowledge? This is the interaction between Kshetra and Kshetragya. Okay. What is Kshetra? The Prakriti, body. That is part of Kshetra. And who is Kshetragya? The soul. So the interaction between the soul and Prakriti, Purusha and Prakriti, the soul is Purusha. The interaction between this, the Purusha and Prakriti, that is most important knowledge of Arjuna. And that's what I'm going to explain to you in this chapter. Okay. So before actually explaining any knowledge, one should actually tell what is the benefit of getting this knowledge, because everybody in this world wants to know, if I am going to give some time to something, what I am going to get out of this. Okay, so that question will always remain in the back of mind until unless that is just answered in the beginning itself. Okay. So Krishna is doing that. In the very first and second verses, he is going to explain what is the utility of this knowledge, what is the result of this knowledge, what is the benefit of this knowledge, and then he will speak the knowledge. Okay. Section 1. Liberation and conditioning of the living entity. Okay. 1 to 4. This is okay. Let's see. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Just a minute. Yeah. Param bhuya pravakshami jnananam jnanam uttamam yad gyatva muneyah sarve param siddhim ito gatah. Okay. Ashwini Mataji, you want to read translation?
Yes, Prophet. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Again I shall declare to you, Bhuya Pravikshami, this supreme wisdom, Paramjnanam, the best of all knowledge, Jnanam Uttamam, knowing which, uh,
Yad
Yaj
gyatva. Yad
Yad
gyatva.
Gyatva, all the sages, Yaj Gyatva, have attained the supreme perfection, Param Siddhim Ito Gatah."
Yeah. So now Krishna is saying that jnanam, jnananam, jnanam uttamam. Among all the knowledge, jnananam, among all the knowledge which I gave you, Arjuna, in the last chapter. Okay, 13th chapter. Among all that, Jnanam Uttamam, the best of all that which was given in the previous chapter. Param Bhuya Pravakshami. Okay, again I shall declare. Bhuya means again. Pravakshami, to speak. How Prabhupada is translated, I shall speak here. So again I shall declare to you. Bhuya Pravakshami. Again I will speak. What I will speak? Param Jnananam. Among all the knowledge, the supreme. Okay. Of all the knowledge, Jnananam, the supreme of all the knowledge. Okay. So actually here it should be Jnanam. Okay. Jnananam word will come in this place actually. Okay. Jnananam Uttamam, that will come here. Okay. By mistake it has come there. Okay. And here it should be Jnanam. Okay. This should be Jnanam. Jnanam. Okay, so Param Jnanam, I will speak to you supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, Jnananam Uttamam, which is best of all the knowledge. Knowing which, Yad Gyatva, what will happen? Muniha Sarve, all the sages. Muniha Sarve, here is Muniha Sarve, have attained the supreme perfection, Param Siddhim Ito Gataha, have attained Param Siddhim, the eternal perfection or the supreme perfection. Ito Gata, have attained. Okay. So Krishna speaks the supreme knowledge. Okay, chapter 14. Krishna will speak the supreme knowledge among all that which was spoken in 13th chapter. Okay. Otherwise, the supreme knowledge was already spoken in 9th chapter. What was that? What was spoken in the 9th chapter? What is the topic of 9th chapter?
Rajavidya.
Rajvidya, Rajguhyam, okay. Bhakti yoga, basically.
Yes.
The king of all knowledge. That was spoken. The Bhakti is the king of all knowledge. But then here, why Krishna is saying the Param Jnana to be the knowledge about whatever he is going to speak here, 3 modes. Why that is supreme? Because among all the topics spoken in the 13th chapter, okay, among all of those, the supreme is the interaction between Prakriti and Purusha, not the knowledge that all which are existing. Among all of that, Bhakti Yoga is highest. Okay, that is the difference. Okay, let's see the purport. Yeah, please read.
From the 7th chapter to the end of the 12th chapter, Shri Krishna in detail reveals the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, the Lord Himself is further enlightening Arjuna. If one understands this chapter through the process of philosophical speculation, he will come to an understanding of devotional service. In the 13th chapter, it was clearly explained that by humbly developing knowledge, one may possibly be freed from material entanglement. It has also been explained that it is due to association with the modes of nature that the living entity is entangled in this material world.
Yeah, thank you. So here now Prabhupada is explaining that what was explained previously in chapter 7 to 12, right? That was Bhakti Yoga, obviously, but some other things were also explained, like Jnana Mishra Bhakti, Karma Mishra Bhakti, that was explained in 7th chapter was Karma Mishra Bhakti, 8th chapter was Jnana Mishra Bhakti, 9th, 12th, they were Uttama Bhakti. Okay, they were mainly or majorly about the Uttama Bhakti or Kevala Bhakti, no mixture, like that. And 10th was Vibhuti Yoga, 11th was the Vishwarupa Darshan, correct? So 7 to 12, all these chapters which were explained. So now Krishna in detail reveals absolute truth by Bhakti Yoga and all. Now he himself is enlightening Arjuna in this chapter, okay, 13th onwards, obviously. So if one understands this chapter through the process of philosophical speculation, okay, so there are two types of speculation. One is the mental speculation, which we have many times heard, which is not to be done. But other type, the first one, philosophical speculation, is good. So what is the meaning of this philosophical speculation? This Rupa Goswami calls as Shastra Yukti. Okay, this we will see in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Okay, that is the method to study Bhakti Yoga or any philosophy, okay, with logic and reasoning. Okay, Yukti means logic and reasoning. Okay, studying philosophy through logic and reasoning. Okay, that logic and reasoning will come from where? Based on Shastra. Okay, based on Shastra. Okay, so scriptures say one thing at this place, and now we are reading something like this. So we try to do study based on scriptures, not based on our mental speculation. I think it should be like this. Okay, no. Just like at one place, Bhagavad Gita will describe that Sarvadharman Parityajya, give up all kinds of duties. And other place it will say Yat Karoshi Yadashnasi, whatever you do, whatever you worship, all these things, whatever you eat. So two different kind of sets of instructions are there. So we can study, okay, what was said there, for whom it was said, what is spoken in the commentary in that verse, which acharya speaks what, and then here for whom it is spoken. Okay, like that. Some places Krishna will say, yes, one can worship the demigod in 8th chapter, like that, considering them as the limbs of Supreme Lord Narayan. At other places he will say Alpa Medasham. Okay, those who are worshippers of demigods are less intelligent, like that. So we have to see for whom it is being said based on Shastra. Okay, that is called philosophical speculation. That is not wrong. Mental speculation is wrong. Okay. So now 13th chapter we saw he described about the knowledge of these 6 items and then how one will get freed of the material entanglement. Yeah. And then we also saw that in the same chapter 13.22 and 24, that how modes of nature, the living entity is entangled in the material world. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Please continue.
Now, in this chapter, the Supreme Personality explains what those modes of nature are, how they act, how they bind, and how they give liberation. The knowledge explained in this chapter is proclaimed by the Supreme Lord to be superior to the knowledge given so far in other chapters. By understanding this knowledge, various great sages attain perfection and transfer to the spiritual world. The Lord now explains the same knowledge in a better way. This knowledge is far superior to all other processes of knowledge thus far explained. And knowing this, many attain perfection. Thus, it is expected that one who understands this 14th chapter will attain perfection.
Yeah, so now in this chapter, that is 14th chapter, the Supreme Personality of Godhead explains what those modes of nature are. First, what will he explain? What the modes of nature are, okay? Which are they? What are their names? Second, how they act. Third, how they bind. Fourth, how they give liberation. So these are the topics of which chapter? 14th chapter. Okay. So in every first verse of the chapter, when the acharyas give commentary, they will say what is spoken in this whole chapter. Okay, in summary. Okay, what is going to be spoken in this chapter? So that is being told here by Prabhupada. That this chapter, these 4 topics will be told. Okay. So this is how the different sections of this chapter are formed. Next, then he says the knowledge explained in this 14th chapter is proclaimed by Supreme Lord to be superior to the knowledge given so far in other chapters. So other chapters means 13 onwards, or in this section. Okay, this section of whatever was spoken, Jnana, there it is supreme. Okay, so wherever this word is coming, like again here Prabhupada said, right, far superior to all other processes of knowledge, thus far explained. And knowing this, thus far explained. What do you mean of thus far explained? Thus far explained the process of jnana, not bhakti. Among all the processes of jnana which was explained till now, this is far superior. Okay. Okay. Now Lord explains, yeah, by understanding this knowledge, various great sages attain perfection. This we saw in 13th chapter. Okay. That by having this knowledge, one will attain perfection, where it was mentioned, Muniyaha Sarve, it was in the end, right? Param Gatim, yeah, that was also mentioned in 29th. Yeah. Yeah, 35th also. Yeah. Yeah, 35th verse also it was told. Last shloka, Phalashruti. Okay. The Lord now explains the same knowledge in a better way. Okay. Not exactly the same, but same in the sense that out of the 6 topics, Prakriti and Purusha, those 2 will be explained. Out of the 6, 2 will be explained. In that sense, it is same. If it is exactly same, then why to explain it again, right? So these 2 will be explained in detail in this chapter in a better way. Okay, what will you explain? Same, Prakriti and Purusha, but in a better way in this chapter. Okay. Okay, any question on this 14.1? Okay, we'll read Baldev Vidyabhushan's commentary on this also. This is very good. Yeah, please read.
The 14th chapter explains that the gunas are a cause of bondage, that they give 3 results, and that they are destroyed by devotion to me. Having examined and concluded the natures of jivas and prakriti, which are mixed together, one should become liberated from the bondage of prakriti by becoming endowed with certain qualities such as pridelessness, amanitva. The cause of bondage is the association of gunas. This was explained in Bhagavad Gita 13.21. Karmanam guna sangosya sat asat yoni janmasha.
Yeah. So here it said that Bhagin Baldev Vidyabhushan is giving the summary also, and what will explain in this chapter, same thing, which Prabhupada has told in his words. So 14th chapter again explains the 3 modes, 3 gunas. Okay, so Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, that's what title he has given. As a cause of bondage, the guna are the cause of bondage. Okay, Nibadhananti. Okay, that word will come in the third shloka in this chapter. Okay, they give the three results according to the mode Sattva, Rajas, Tamaha, and they are destroyed by how? Bhakti Yoga. By Bhakti Yoga, it will be destroyed. Ah, Aham Tvam Mokshashyami. I will give you liberation. Means how? Removing the entanglement of three modes. Sarvadharman Parityajya, Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, like that. So, having examined and concluded the natures of Jiva, where in this last chapter, Prakriti, so Purusha is the Jiva and Prakriti. Okay, so these are the topics. And interaction of those two is the chapter 14. Okay. And what is the connection between two? Who makes the connection? The three modes, the gunas. Okay. So the Prakriti and the Jivas are mixed together. One should become liberated from the bondage of the Prakriti by becoming endowed with certain qualities. Okay, what are those certain qualities? That are explained in 13.8 to 12. Amanitvam, Adambhitvam. Correct. Those 20 processes of knowledge was told. By having those qualities, one can learn about the various topics of this chapter. The cause of bondage is the association of the gunas. Okay, this we have discussed many times. Where was it said? 13.21. Karanam gun sangosya. Karan क्या है इसका? Gun sanga, association of modes. Yeah, continue.
Uh, what are those gunas? How does the association with one of those gunas takes place? What is the result of association with the guna? What are the characteristics of a person associated with a guna? How does one become freed from the guna? With this question in mind, the Lord praises in two verses the topics he will be explaining to induce a taste for Atma. Again, I will speak more knowledge, which is different from the knowledge just spoken. Param.
Yeah, so as Prabhupada told the topics of this chapter, you remember 4 topics he told here, correct? What those modes are, how they act, how they bind, how they give liberation. From where Prabhupada is speaking? He is speaking from Bhaktivedanta Bhushan. Okay, first, what are those gunas? Second, how does the association with the modes of the gunas take place? Third, what is the result of association with the gunas? Fourth, what are the characteristics of a person associated with Sattuguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna? What are the characteristics of such a person? Okay, fifth, how does one become freed from the gunas? That Prabhupada already told, Bhakti Yoga. So these are the questions which are going to be answered in this chapter. Okay, 14th chapter. With this question in mind, Lord praises in 2 verses. What are the 2 verses? 14.1 and 2. Okay. So again, I'll speak knowledge which is different from knowledge just spoken. Yeah, continue.
This knowledge concerns the gunas and is included in knowledge of Prakriti and the Jiva. It is the best among all topics of knowledge concerning the Jiva and Prakriti. It is similar to fresh butter extracted from yogurt. Realizing this, all sages, those dedicated to contemplation, munayah, attained the perfection of true understanding of the Atma, Param Siddhim Gataha, in this world, itah.
Yeah. So this knowledge means which knowledge? Which will be spoken in this chapter. Okay. Concerns the gunas, about the 3 modes. Correct. Guna, Vibhaga, Yoga. Okay. And is included in knowledge of Prakriti and Jiva that we have been discussing. Prakriti and Purusha. Jiva is the Purusha or Kshetrajna. It is best among all topics of knowledge concerning the Jiva and Prakriti. Okay. So all topics of knowledge does not include 9th chapter, 12th chapter. Okay, all knowledge, topics of knowledge, including the topics of Jiva and Prakriti, that was told in 13th chapter. Okay, among them, this is the best topic. That's why I'm going to explain it. Okay, it is best, but what result it will give? It will give the result of attaining the perfection. Okay, one will gain liberation, attain perfection, come to the abode of the Lord. So these are the things given in the previous chapter, right? And here also Lord will say in the second verse, idam jnanam upashritya mama sadharmyam agatah sarge api na upjayante pralaye na vyathanti cha. Okay. Somebody else can read who has not read. Yeah, Geet Mataji, you want to read?
By becoming fixed in this knowledge, one can attain to the transcendental nature like my own. Thus, established one is not born at the time of creation or disturbed at the time of dissolution.
Yeah. So, idam jnanam upashritya. Okay, so what I have done here is there is this anvaya also, as you remember. I hope you remember. Anvaya. That we discussed the 5 steps of gaining knowledge or how to study scriptures. So the first one was padacheda, means the dividing the Sanskrit terms in easier terms, and second was padartha ukti, the meaning to every term. So that is already done by Srila Prabhupada in synonyms. First 2 steps, that is padacheda, dividing each term and giving meaning of each term. Correct. Padacheda and padartha ukti. And third was vigraha, that is describing some difficult terms which are there, describing it. That Prabhupada will do in the purport also. And also in word to word meaning he has done sometimes. And then fourth was anvayaha, or making a legible sentence. And here the translation which Prabhupada is given, that is there. So what I have just done is whatever the words are there in shloka, we have put it in the brackets here so that it will be matching to the words in the Prabhupada translation, and we can easily connect to them and remember them. So that while reading the purport, we can focus that, okay, this word Prabhupada told for this Sanskrit word was for this English word, like that. Okay. And last one is akshepasya samadhanam, removing if there are any doubts. So that Prabhupada does while reading the purport. Okay. So these are the 5 steps which one should follow while reading any scripture. So that's why I have included this. So here he is saying idam jnanam, this knowledge. Which knowledge? He is saying which knowledge is being told here? Yeah.
Knowledge
Which
about
knowledge?
Prakriti and Purusha, that 13th chapter.
Prakriti and Purusha. Yeah, which is going to be explained in this chapter. Okay, which is going to explain in this chapter. Here he said, na parama bhuyaha pravakshami jnananam jnanam uttamam. This knowledge, that which is best among all the knowledge, this knowledge, jnanam. Okay. Yad gyata muneha sarve param siddhim ito gata. All the saints or the munis have attained param siddhi. This knowledge, O Arjuna. Okay, that he is continuing. What is happening? This knowledge, idam jnanam, which was told in 14.1, and which will be explained throughout this chapter. And what is that? Prakriti and Purusha interaction. Okay, modes, basically the 3 modes that will be told. So idam jnanam, the modes, the knowledge of the modes, upashritya, becoming fixed in. Okay, upashritya. What will happen? One can attain agatah. One will attain what? Mama sa dharmyam. Dharma means nature or innate quality of something, like Prabhupada describes, right? Dharma of sugar is sweetness. Correct? Like that. So dharmyam means the innate quality of a person will become like me. Krishna is speaking. That person will become equal in nature with me. He will attain qualities of the personalities of Vaikuntha or Goloka, like that. So Prabhupada has translated it as to the transcendental nature like my own. So that person will become mama sadharmyam. Okay, he will become sadharma with me. Sarge api na upajayante. Sarga is to create, or when creation is there. Thus established, okay, one is not born at the time of creation. Sarge api na upajayante. He is not born. Upajayante is to take birth. He is na upajayante. He will not take birth at the time of creation. And we know at the time of creation, all the jivas which are resting in Mahavishnu, they come out and they are put in different bodies of animals, demigods, humans, cats, dogs, everybody, as per their previous dissolution. Before the dissolution, whatever the karma was, according to that karma, that divinity is placed in the next creation in a suitable body, right? Right, like that. Sarge api na upajayante. So in the creation, he will not take birth like that. Or pralayena, neither in the dissolution, vetanti, he will be destroyed, or disturbed, vetanti, at the time of dissolution. Okay, like that. So what is the result of this knowledge? Which knowledge? That will be explained in 14th chapter. Okay, the three modes. Okay, whatever is being explained in 14th chapter. Okay, coming verses, that knowledge of Arjuna, if you receive, then you will overcome birth and death, basically. Yeah, please read the purport.
After acquiring perfect transcendental knowledge, one acquires qualitative equality with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, becoming free from the repetition of birth and death. One does not, however, lose his identity as an individual soul. It is understood from Vedic literature that the liberated souls who have reached the transcendental planets of the spiritual sky always look to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, being engaged in his transcendental loving service. So, even after liberation, the devotees do not lose their individual identities.
Yeah. So Prabhupada is explaining the verse, acquiring perfect transcendental knowledge. Okay. So where is this mentioned in the verse? Perfect transcendental knowledge. Which phrase of the verse is saying this? Perfect transcendental knowledge.
Idam Jnanam.
Jnanam, yeah. Perfect transcendental knowledge is mentioned not
Jnano,
here.
first
Yeah.
verse. Jnanottamam.
Yeah. Not in this verse. It was told previously. Jnanam Uttamam. Okay. So that is there in 14.1. Jnanam Uttamam. Okay. That was told there. Yeah. So one acquires qualitative equality with the Supreme Lord. Where is this mentioned? Qualitative equality with the Lord.
Mam dharmam mya agata.
Mama sadharmyam. Dharma is innate quality. His innate quality will become sa. Sa means same with me. Okay, like that. Mama sadharmyam. Okay, sadharmyam. Equal in quality with me. Okay, obviously nobody can become completely equal. So the understanding is like a water drop is same in quality with the big ocean, right? So the saltiness is there in both, like that. Okay, nobody can be fully equal, obviously. And then what else he will have? Becoming free from the repetition of birth and death. Where is this mentioned? He will become free from repetition of birth and death.
Nopajayate pralaya navatanti.
Yes. Na upajayante, sarge na upajayate. That is no birth. Na vyatanti pralayech. Pralayech. Right. Yeah. Na vyatanti pralayech. Neither at the time of pralaya he will die. Yeah. Okay. One does not, however, lose his identity as an individual soul. Why is Prabhupada saying this line? One does not lose in identity. What is the reason for this?
Because Mama Sadharmya word is there, so maybe that he is
Yeah.
explaining.
Yeah. So Prabhupada is explaining because there is something which is meant becoming one in quality, right, with the Lord. So some Mayavadis can think that, oh yes, Prabhupada is also agreeing to our idea that yeah, everybody becomes one. No, he is immediately clarifying this is not that kind of equality which you assume, because that does not exist. They are only assuming it. Okay, that is not there. Okay, Mayavadi philosophy he is refuting. It is understood from Vedic literature that the liberated souls who have reached transcendental planets of the spiritual sky always look to the lotus feet of Supreme Lord, being engaged in transcendental loving service. He is quoting a verse which is actually mentioned by Baldev with devotion. I will show that. Yes, here. Yeah, he is saying, Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Surayah. Okay, this is from Gopal Tapani Upanishad, Riga Veda 122-20, which Baldev with devotion says, and which Prabhupada actually quotes in English. Okay. So Gopal Tapani Upanishad. So even after liberation, the devotees do not lose their individual identity. Sadharmyam is there, but not losing one's identity. Yeah, continue.
Generally, in the material world, whatever knowledge we get is contaminated by the three modes of material nature. Knowledge which is not contaminated by the three modes of nature is called transcendental knowledge.
Yeah, why is Prabhupada saying this transcendental knowledge contamination and all? Why is he saying this? Is there any word in the verse which says like this? Why is saying this, that this knowledge is transcendental and it's not contaminated? What was spoken till now, either first verse or second verse. You have to see what was mentioned, something similar to this. Why Prabhupada is speaking this? If you don't do these exercises and just keep there in your own small world, then you will not be able to think how Prabhupada is writing the purport or not be able to understand the verse properly. Okay, so you have to start participating in this. What is mentioned in this verse number 1 or 2 connected to this? Yeah, Sulalita Gopi Mataji. You don't have to raise
Hare
hand, you
Krishna.
can just unmute and speak. Yeah. Yes, Mataji.
Yes. In the verse number 2, Prabhuji, here it's mentioned that one can attain to the transcendental nature like my own. So, my own, Krishna is mentioning my own means Krishna is beyond the mode of material nature.
Okay. Okay, Mama Sadharmyam. Yeah, he is beyond the three modes. Okay. Yeah, not exactly. Yeah, this is not exactly. It's there in the first verse. Can you see in first verse, or somebody else can try in the first verse? What is mentioned?
Param Jnani, which is best of the knowledge and is transcendental. So that is
Yeah, where is the word transcendental? Param.
Padam.
Let's go to the first verse. See what is mentioned. Yeah, see, Param is what? Transcendental. And this is adjective to something. Adjective for what? Jnanam.
Jnana.
Yeah, Jnanam, to the knowledge. So this transcendental knowledge. Okay, see the translation. Okay, Jnanam Uttamam is here. Best of all knowledge. Yeah, attaining the supreme. That is Param Siddhim. Yeah, Param Jnanam. Here it was. Yeah, Param Jnanam. Supreme wisdom, transcendental wisdom, like that. So that's why Prabhupada is telling now in this purport that in the material world, generally, whatever knowledge we get is contaminated. The scientists will give one knowledge today, tomorrow they will tell, yes, actually there is an update to this, that newer version of this thing has come. Now that knowledge is changed. Okay, so there are so many editions to so many books of this world. But Bhagavad Gita, we don't see any second edition. It's the same 700 shlokas in all the editions, right? Like that. So they are contaminated by three modes because they are coming from the three modes. The material brains of the scientists are under three modes. So that's coming from three modes. But the Bhagavad Gita, these are all Shrutis, Smritis, they are coming from directly Krishna. Okay, like that. Written by Vyasadeva. Okay. Knowledge which is not contaminated by these modes of nature is called transcendental knowledge, Param Jnanam. Okay. So this way we have to study the purports. Okay. Otherwise, we will just say, oh, Prabhupada just speaks whatever comes to his mind. We are not putting our efforts. That's why we are seeing all these things. Okay. Yeah, please continue. Who was reading?
As soon as one is situated in that transcendental knowledge, he is on the same platform as the Supreme Person. Those
Yeah, this also same platform as Supreme Person is mentioned where? Yes, Geet Mataji, where it is mentioned?
Sadharma Agata.
No, Geet Mataji will answer. Okay, already answered. Okay. Yeah. Same platform. Mama Sadharmyam. Yes, continue.
Those who have no knowledge of the spiritual sky hold that after being freed from the material activities of the material form, this spiritual identity becomes formless without any variegateness. However, just as there is material variegateness in this world, in the spiritual world, there is also variegateness.
Yeah. Thank you. So variegatedness means the variety. Variety is the mother of enjoyment, that is said in this material world. So there is surely so much more enjoyment in the spiritual world. So won't there be variety? Yes, there is unlimited variety in the spiritual world. Correct. That's what Prabhupada is saying. So it's not that variety only in this material world. Okay, material world is a bad reflection of the spiritual world. So if something is there in original image, then only it will come in the reflection, right? So there is a variety in the spiritual world also. Yeah, continue.
Those in ignorance of this think that spiritual existence is opposed to material variety. But actually, in the spiritual sky, one attains a spiritual form. There are spiritual activities, and the spiritual situation is called devotional life. That atmosphere is said to be uncontaminated, and there one is equal in quality with the Supreme Lord. To obtain such knowledge, one must develop all the spiritual qualities. One who does, one who thus develops the spiritual qualities is not affected either by the creation or by the destruction of the material world.
Yeah. So what knowledge, what qualities Prabhupada is telling here? Developing these spiritual qualities, then one can actually gain this knowledge. Which quality is this? He is saying. Yes, time is up. Yeah, please tell quickly.
Spiritual qualities in the sense to understand that super soul is situated.
Super soul is situated in body. No, about
No,
quality
it
you
is.
have to tell. Qualities. What qualities Prabhupada is talking about?
13.9 to 12, Amani from that.
Yes. Yeah, that is the process of knowledge. Correct. That one has to gain so that one can gain the knowledge further. Okay. That was told there. 13.8, I think. Yeah. 8 to 12. Yeah.
Yes,
13.8 to
8
12
to
it was
12.
told. Those 5 verses. Spiritual qualities were mentioned there. So by those qualities, amanitvam, adambitvam, ahimsa, arjavam, all these things, one will not be not affected either by creation or dissolution. That is mentioned in this verse. Na pralaye, na sarge. Right, these two words are mentioned. Yeah. Okay, so we'll pause here and continue from the next verse in the next session.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, any questions? Yeah, yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, that variegatedness, no, I didn't understand that thing actually.
Where it came in this shloka, na? Yeah,
Before the
here.
last slide, no? Here.
Here, na? Yeah. Those who have no knowledge of the spiritual sky hold that after being freed from the material activities of the material form, this spiritual identity becomes formless without any basically, yeah, they are telling about those Mayavadis. Okay, they don't have any proper knowledge. So because of this, they think that they will become one with the Supreme Lord and lose all their form and become one with the Supreme Lord and become light. Okay, that's how they think without any variety. Okay, that Prabhupada is saying they have no knowledge. Okay, so they think there is no variety after one goes to spiritual world like that. So because they think that variety is the cause of the problem, their motto is variegatedness causes unhappiness. Okay, but we know, as Prabhupada also says, the variety is the source of happiness, right? So like that, they have the opposite conception. So that's why Prabhupada is saying about them. They think they will become one with the Supreme and they will become light and they will lose all the variegatedness, because if you have variety, then there will be problem. That's what they think. However, just as there is material variegatedness in this world, the spiritual world also there is variety. Just like we have reflection has a variety, so the original image also, original object will also have variety. That is the point. That's what Prabhupada is saying. What exactly you did not understand, you can tell so that I can answer better.
Prabhuji, now I understood about this, that those who have no knowledge, it is related to Mayavadis. But the
Yeah.
last point is, however, just as there is material variegatedness in this world, in spiritual world there is also variegatedness. Means what?
Yeah, just like in spiritual world, we have the five rasa, Madhuri rasa, Vatsalya rasa, and Sakhya ras, Dasya ras, and Shant ras. Like that in material world also we have. There is a loving relationship between male and female. Then there is also motherly, fatherly affection, Vatsalya ras, reflection. There is also friendship. There is also servant and master, correct, CEO of the company and the employee, like that. So these all things are there in metal world also, like that. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Sarveshwari Radhika Mati.
Prabhuji, I wanted to clear this to point. To obtain such knowledge, means this knowledge is talking about this Prakriti and Kshetra again. Prakriti and
Which verse it is, Mataji? Where
last
it is?
line of the second sloka, last line. To obtain such knowledge, one must develop all the spiritual qualities.
Last line of purport?
Of sloka 2,
Shloka
purport,
2.
last.
Purport, okay.
To obtain
Last. To obtain, yes. To obtain
such
such
knowledge.
knowledge.
This knowledge, they are talking about this Purus and Prakriti.
Yeah, this chapter.
And
14th
one must
chapter.
develop all the spiritual qualities. This spiritual quality is verse 8 to 12 from chapter 13.
Correct.
Is it? That's
Yes,
only I wanted to
correct.
clear.
Yeah. Because
Thank you.
that qualities will help develop all the six knowledge there, na? Jnanam, Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetragya. So all those six also will develop by these qualities. And from those six only Krishna is telling two are very important. Prakriti and Purusha interaction. That also needs the same qualities. That's why. Yes, Amit too.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We don't have to answer, perhaps we can look at it tomorrow. But would like to get your thoughts on to live in this material, world. Do we sometimes need tamas guna? I know, from the Bhagavad Gita aspect, we have to aim for sattva guna. But do we need to have, of course, knowledge of tamas guna, and then do we really need tamaguna? All of us, at least I have tamaguna, many tamagunas. So, what's your view on that? Do we need to look at balance? The ultimate goal is, of course, going to sattva guna, but
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Trying to understand the question also. Yeah, tamoguna, it is needed in the sense that just like sleep is needed, it is activity of tamoguna. Yeah. So whether it is needed or not, there is no question. It is surely needed, like that. And for different living entity based on their past lives, whatever they have gone through or they have associated with, different degrees of tamoguna and sattva and rajoguna will be there. However, in the earthly planet, we know the middle, that is the rajoguna is maximum, the rajoguna is there, and among the other two, tamoguna and sattva keep varying in different people, like how they are. Mixture is there in everyone. Somebody may have more of tamoguna, somebody may have less of tamoguna, somebody more of sattva, somebody more of less of sattva, like that. It can be varying. So one thing is, as you told, that one has to aim for sattva, and being in sattva, one can nicely practice bhakti. That is the aim, to overcome the gunas. So one cannot immediately jump from tamoguna and to sattva immediately. One is surely has to endeavor by different methods and processes, abhyasa, yogena, like that, and detachment from whatever he is attached to or whatever pulls him to the tamoguna activities. So those activities have to always one has to keep progressing. So slowly can come from tamoguna to rajoguna, then rajoguna to sattoguna. Okay, like that. So suddenly one cannot jump from tamoguna directly to beyond sattoguna, that is bhakti yoga completely. One can start doing, and slowly by the process of bhakti yoga, the person will start transcending the three modes, and slowly the progress will happen, like that. Anartha nivritti, as it happens more, so the anarthas, the tamoguna will go lower and lower. That's all. So more focus should be on bhakti, on doing the bhakti nicely. Whatever limb one likes, maybe chanting, reading, or whatever important limbs of bhakti are there. So whichever he likes, in that tamoguna will be least affected for him. So that he should try to do more. Okay. So then he will slowly gain spiritual, advancement, and he'll overcome anarthas and as well as tamoguna. That's my understanding.
Okay,
Is it
Prabhuji.
okay, bro?
Yeah, Prabhuji. We will, and of course, this is a chapter about Guna, so we will have more opportunity to.
We'll
So,
read this. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Dandavat pranam, Prabhuji.
Mahavan going through, any question is it? Those who are getting late can leave. Yeah, yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I'm audible.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, Prabhu. As like we discussed in our last chapter, that Jivatma take birth as per his desire, and material nature facilitate him. So, but many cases, like what I understand, that people don't even know, like they get introduced many things which are against their nature, like smoking, drinks, or whatever. So they don't even have desire to enjoy all those things, but circumstance came in their life, so they accept, and it's become like a very nature in future.
Yeah.
So even they came to know this is all those things are wrong, but it's become like quite like a settle. So how can we understand that what exactly our nature and what things have been facilitated and all those things, that like how can we understand that what was our desire to take birth?
Desire to take birth, this life.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
So
many things are there which are not our nature,
Ah.
not our, like we don't want it to be, but it's get introduced or get facilitated, and we become unknowingly become a part of that things, and like that.
Yeah, I will show one shloka, Prabhuji, from Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, then you can read it, and then we'll try to answer. Okay, is it visible? Are you able to see, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, yeah. So 4:29:66 talks between Narad and King Prachin Barhi. Okay. So this shloka is Man eva manushasya purva rupani samshati भविष्यस्तः च भद्रं ते तथैव न भविष्यतः. Please read the translation, Prabhuji.
O King of all good fortune unto you, the mind is the cause of all the living entities attaining a certain type of body in the what is this, sir? Accordance
Accordance.
with his association with the material nature. According to one's material com- composition,
Mental composition.
one can understand that the living entity was in his past life, as well as what kind of body he will have in the future. Thus, the mind indicates the past and the future bodies.
Yeah. So, as you are asking, Prabhuji, like we don't know what was his desire. So this verse answers that we can know what that living entity was in the past life and what he will get the body in next life. Both will be determined in this life only. How? By analyzing the mind. So here he is saying, and what is desire? What is there in the mind? Thinking, feeling, and willing. These are the three functions of mind. And also it is the storehouse of all the previous desires in the form of chitta. So basically, very simple words here answer is given. By analyzing the mind of any person, what kind of desire he has, we can understand that kind of desire he had in past, that kind of association he had in past. Like you gave one example of smoking and drinking. So the very thing that the person was attracted to, that means he associated with it in past life. Which life? We don't know. But somewhere he associated. Why not everybody get associated with smoking and drinking in this life? Because previously they have not come in touch maybe, or they don't have that much attraction, but they have restraint towards it in this life. Okay. But there is always a free will, sweksha, we say in Hindi. Sweksha is there always, free will, that he can decide at this time whether I want to smoke or drink or not. Okay. So for that person who has had association of drinking, smoking in past life, he will have lot of difficulty in stopping himself to go for smoking and drinking. Yeah, smoking and drinking, he will have lot of difficulty in past if he has undergone. Yeah. So in this life, if he is getting lot of difficulty, we can understand that he has associated with it in past life. Okay, Project.
Yeah, okay, bro. Actually,
Yeah. So basically, from mind we can understand that what was his past life and what will be in next life. Okay. So if mind is too much attracted towards smoking and drinking, then he has associated with it in last life or past lives. Okay. So if there are no more questions, then we will pause
Yeah, I
here.
have one question.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, it is with regard to verse 13, chapter, verse number 29.
13, chapter 29. Yes, what is the question?
Prabhuji, here it is mentioned that one who sees the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in every living thing, he does not degrade but gradually advance to the spiritual world.
Okay.
So, like how to contemplate on this?
Which 13.29, na?
Yes.
Purport, na? It is there? Yeah, tell the line again, Mataji.
One who sees the presence of Supreme Personality of Godhead in every living thing, he does not degrade but gradually advance to the spiritual world.
Okay. There are some other words also in between. He does not degrade himself by destructive mentality, and he therefore gradually advances to the spiritual world. This one, na?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, yeah. So what is the question?
Prabhuji, how to contemplate on this?
Okay, how to contemplate on this? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, my honest answer is we should not contemplate on this. Okay, why? Because our contemplation as a bhakti yogi should be more towards the Yashodanandan Krishna, Shyam Sundar Krishna, or the Vraja activities as Gaudiyas. And this is there to be there with us as knowledge. We should know it. But our contemplation or active contemplation should be those topics and our services which we are trying to do. What is our relationship with Krishna? Okay, all these things are to be contemplated actively. This can be there as a passive, not contemplation, I would say, but knowledge. We have to know this, what is being told in this 13th chapter till 17th chapter. This jnana, knowledge is there, it is needed for what is our relationship with Prakriti, what are the three modes. All this knowledge is needed, but it is not for our meditation. Like sometimes devotees also ask that Krishna is the taste of water and he is the sun, moon. All these are there as vibhutis of Krishna, but it is not for contemplation for Gaudiya sadhakas. For us, the sadhana will be that which is there directly related to the personality of God, like the qualities of Krishna or whatever, the Leela qualities, Nam, Guna, Roop, Leela, all these things. These are of direct contemplation, but others are for knowledge. If we start doing active contemplation, Krishna is taste of water, that is not our sadhana. It is not part of our sadhana. It is not one of the anga of bhakti. Is it okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you.
Hare Krishna. And
Hare
welcome.
Krishna. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for joining today. We'll meet tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.